kind of like.
Okay, so anyway, dun 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 dun. Present, share screen. Yep. Yep. Okay. So, for instance, we have notepad, notepad. Let's see. She sniffed and bit her lip as so. So, for instance, this is something we complain about constantly. Is what feelings is she feeling? Okay. So I can copy paste that and then describe what feelings are flooding her. See?
Wow.
Piffy?
Wow. I said, wow. Hello, I'm here.
Hello?
Hi.
Are you there?
Hear me? Yes, I'm here.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm muted. So I muted my thing. Sorry about that. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I said, whoa. That is amazingly impressive.
Yeah, you can force AI to actually say to describe the so many feelings. So I can just in the future I can just say action item expand upon these feelings rather than just being a bitch and saying what fucking feelings are you feeling?
Yeah, I like that. I like this a lot.
Right? The free version
is such a good tool.
The free version will generate $2,000 words a month. But I'm going to keep this. This also learns your writing style. So I can also make it do this in third person. So describe her feelings in third person limited. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
So I can also delete this part. No matter if you discard it or keep it, it still counts as generating words, which I don't like that so much. But I mean, this is great. This is, I mean, I can delete, let's see, she already said yes. I can just say delete that part and keep this. Yeah, I can just keep it like that, and then I'll save. I think the draft auto saves as long as I don't delete it. So I can use this to go into more detail, and then I can always just check with Bex and say, hey, does this sound like what you're feeling? Does this sound like leave?
Man, I love that. I love it's always better to be like, hey, try this.
Yeah.
So just don't do that.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I liked about one of my old music teachers would just say, no, wrong. And then another music teacher I had would say, okay, well, what if we try doing this? Right. There were other issues I had with that. The teacher with who said, let's try this, but we don't have to go into that right now. But I love, I know there's people who think, oh, AI is ruining the future. People say that about all new tech. I like that tool. I like that I can say these feelings, or like that scene where Rebecca and Trent are eating breakfast and no one actually goes into detail about the food. And you said, oh, well, I would have described the texture of the eggs and stuff like that. So I could say, describe these characters eating breakfast. Something like that. I can give it that command and I can say in third person limited, or I can say in third person omniscient, or I could say only from this person's point of view. I can also make it just finish the story for me, although that's kind of a crapshoot. Because if let's say I paste in every but like the long ass chapter 41, I paste all of that with everybody's POVs in there, it'll get confused. It won't
Right.
remember who's who. So anyway, let's continue. We had some technical difficulties at the end of the last one. So I had to unfortunately remove it from Facebook. But I managed to get it edited on YouTube, and then I can like streamline it later and all that. So there should be. Besides, I remove a lot of live videos from Facebook. Anyway, I swallowed my tears and nodded shortly. I walked to the door, placing my hand on the knob, but hesitated. I turned to face him, his eyes cold and dark, meeting mine. Why isn't he staring at his razor? Because he's looking at the other person in the room.
Yeah.
He's allowed to do that. He's allowed to look at the OC. I turned away from his gaze and exited the room in silence. Why are you role-playing as Victoria? You don't even like Victoria. Okay, I can't really say anything about that because I do the exact same thing. I can be kind of a dick, but
Mervin, write your own fic. You're allowed to do that.
There's spite fics of this.
Oh, fuck.
Which, I mean, yeah, you can write spite fics and stuff. You have every right to write a spite fic, but I feel like you should either write a spite fic or be a dick in the sport. If it's public. Like, you can privately write all the spite fic you want to write. I can write spite fic about character A getting yoked into a active volcano if I wanted to, just as long as I didn't like make it public to the person who originally wrote character A. Well, okay. What I do with Akuma? I am an asshole with Akuma, so I take that back. I'm still gonna judge Mervin for it though, so I'm gonna send mine ass off while using her macro. Send thine ass off.
Oh no! Time to script. Oh, we can't.
I hate the scripting because you can't actually see what's written.
Yeah, because like this is all gone.
The italicized parts are from the fic canon. I don't know how to phrase that. Victoria obsesses endlessly over Sweeney. Yeah, Pixar didn't happen.
Yeah.
I can change him, mama, and with his wife out of the way, I can move in. I've loved him since I was 8. I'm pretty sure that's not what it said. The I can change him, mama, yes. I'm pretty sure it did say that. Something to that effect. Because I had the same impression.
Right.
And I don't like it any more than she does. But whatever. It's just somebody's right to have a power fantasy, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't have to like it.
Yeah. It's like this is like I would never this is not the kind of fic I would ever really read on my own, just because it's not my jam. But but yeah, but if it floats your boat, no reason to punch a hole in it.
Yeah, and I mean, if I was, let's say this was a role play, okay? If I was role playing as Sweeney Todd, and somebody else was role playing as Victoria, I might say, hey, I don't really want you to tell my character how to feel.
Yeah.
Or, I think your character is being a little pushy. Is this intentional? Okay, that's very... sometimes I suck at communication, so sometimes I might not actually say that. I might just go ahead and have my character just be extra harsh.
Yeah, and sometimes man, I still regret this. There's this one former RP partner who from my perspective, I was just I don't know, being rigid and hyper focused, but to her I was being pushy, and like that wasn't my like, okay, yeah, I can see how that happened. Like in hindsight, like yeah, I totally understand how that how that would be pushy, just because I was just like making assumptions about what would happen.
Mhm.
And I mean,
Oh, I've done that. I've done that so much. I've made assumptions, and then I've had people be like, "It feels like you're railroading this," and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry."
yeah, and I and like, yeah, like, some things were definitely just me being like excessively rigid,
Mm-hmm.
like about the like, okay, but especially like this whole divide between like magic and science. I was like, this divide is arbitrary and bullshit, but like it was important to them. Like they, she didn't want her character to do like to, you know,
Honestly,
magic shit.
sometimes I have issues with like I'll have my characters being magical and then you'll come science it, but in a way that it kind of ruins everything because you're saying like this isn't possible because science. And it's fine if you're doing that with Corey's characters, I don't mind, but when you do it to mine, I take it personally.
Oh, I'm sorry,
But I mean, that's also the kind of thing that I can just tell you, hey, so I want my fire god to be magical. I don't really like if the audience wants to science it, you're welcome to have that dialogue with them, but I don't want it to be part of the meta.
valid,
Like
valid.
I can just take you aside and say that, for example. I
Yeah,
don't need to like, and yeah,
I
I can
do.
absolutely also make assumptions.
I do wish that this person had like told me.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, hey, you're being really pushy right now, or hey, you're making a lot of assumptions.
Yeah. Or like, hey, I feel like you're being unnecessarily unkind about my character, or something like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is I personally will usually try to go to somebody and say, hey, it really bothers me that this is going on with this character. I thought this. And then, that gives an avenue for the other person to say, well, actually, I thought, this. Or, well, previously you had said this. And there's times when I won't even fucking remember saying the thing that I allegedly said. I'll take their word for it that I said it because I can't remember what I said yesterday or the day before that. And there's times when I've gone over old scripts and I was like, oh shit, my character really said that. But
so
like it helps to just say, just like say, hey, I feel like this way. And then the only time when I'll really like be a dickhead about it and go behind someone's back and talk shit is if I've already tried to communicate this thing and they weren't receptive, or instead of like,
she didn't like, not to my knowledge, she didn't go behind my back about it or anything, but it's just like she eventually told me, it's like, you're being really just like my mind was blown.
Yeah.
And like I just wish she could have like told me sooner so I could start like reflecting on this sooner, because like I don't want to be a pushy person.
Yeah, that's fair. I've been kind of like blindsided by things too. Like somebody will not tell me something that's been bothering them for a long time, and then they'll all of a sudden blow up at me about it, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? Like, I know that we both had a tendency to do that when we were a lot younger. I've had it done to me. You've probably had it done to you a lot as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a great feeling. But anyway, okay, so let's go back to what we're supposed to be doing in our 16 minutes left. Anyway, what's your deal? Benjamin Barker is not dead, only lost. You said that already. It hasn't. You know what? I'll give that one to Mervin.
Yeah.
I'll give that one to Mervin. That's something a beta could have caught. Let's see. I really don't get that. I did not expect you to.
I want more
At least
context.
here she's saying, sorry, that rubbed me the wrong way.
Okay, you know,
That's, I feel like if she's saying sorry, I'm going to take the apology with a grain of salt, but at least she said it.
yeah.
You've got the hots for him, don't you? You have since you were little.
Since before she knew what the hots were.
Yeah, don't be so silly. I was a child. I know nothing of love. But you just said up there you loved him since you were a child. Yeah, like an uncle, maybe. Okay, maybe not like a Targaryen uncle. Not like that.
Yeah.
Okay. But like she loved him like, okay, a much older brother.
Yeah.
Again, not in a House of the Dragon Game of Thrones way. Not in a Corey way either.
Yeah, like it was platonic is what you're saying.
Yes, it's like I love This is more difficult than I thought it would be.
It's okay.
I love this anglerfish.
Oh man, that anglerfish is so good.
Yeah, this has come kind of unspiked though, because this is one of the toys that's on the high shelf because it's got a wire in it, and I don't want Lucius getting to it. I love this anglerfish. I do not want to bone this anglerfish. This anglerfish is my friend.
Yes.
I want this anglerfish to be okay.
Yes.
Okay, like that's. Anyway, butt out. He's. Yes, that's exactly how Mrs. Lovett talks. But allow me to phrase this in a way that seems like I'm only saying it because I care for you as well as persevere. Sweeney, preserving. I think you mean preserving, not persevering. Sweeney's sense of mystery that will invariably only make you want to jump his bones even more. I don't know what that means because I don't know what that said. I don't know what she.
Yeah.
I don't know what Mrs. Lovett initially said. Also, I don't know what persevering someone's sense of mystery is. If you're gonna be pedantic, so am I.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think there's much we are going to be able to get out of this just because the original text is lost to us.
Mm-hmm. Here's a noise. Maximum overkill grabs a random gun. Oh, that is such a Serena move. I love it. Hey, relax. I just teleported downstairs for an ale. Oh, no, my characters do that shit all the time. I have no idea where he came from. Yeah, my characters, like, I had my characters, so they met outside of a hallway after class, and then all of a sudden a teacher teleported in, confronting Troy about why he was skiving off of class. Confronting Troy as Troy was about to leave the next classroom to skive off class. And then while I was typing that up, I was like, wait, when did they get to the next classroom? And I had to actually edit that in. So that's a mistake I made too. Storm rumbles symbolically. You know what? Symbolic weather is fine. It's been used as a plot device before.
I like symbolic weather.
Why the hell are you picking at me? I'd actually rather ask why I'm not asking Mrs. Lovett that, considering she was doing the same thing. And then Victoria's canon line is in italics here. You were my friend, my only true friend when I was a child. I was distraught when you were taken away, and every night I could only cry myself to sleep, wondering if you were still alive. I thought of you every day, hoping beyond hope that one day you'd return to London and I'd see you again. My wish came true after 15 years, but you're not that man, are you? The one who'd always bring me a little white rose and talk with me for hours and tell me fantastic stories? And then Sweeney, I guess, presses X to doubt. It's a shame you wasted 15 years obsessing over me. Whatever. Were they wasted? You're here now and everything's going to improve. I mean, it's a little optimistic. It's a little naive, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything wrong with this or this. Like, she's waited 15 years to see this guy again.
Yeah, and it's like, it's totally believable that he made that big an impact on her life. Is the thing.
She was 8, yeah.
Yeah, like this is. It would be one thing if like this was like preposterous, but it's not. She's
Yeah.
actually laying out a believable and somewhat compelling reason for her character to be the way she is.
Yeah. All right, your alarm's going off. I know we've got 10 minutes left.
Yep.
This has been pretty easy on my wrist, so I'm grateful for that.
I'm glad.
I told Lydia I might be on, like, I was considering being on later to fish, because you can fish in ESO, but then sometimes enemies on the shore, they'll see you and then they'll aggro, and I can't fight back. If something attacked me, I would have to log out immediately.
That sucks.
Yeah, so it's still a little tender if I move it in certain ways, so I'm probably going to stay in and read my analog books. Which at least I can catch up with my analog books. I'm on volume, I think, 31 or 32, 33 of this manga. Oh, yeah, I'm on volume 33 of this manga.
Ooh.
That I picked up when I was 17 years old. Never really got to read all the way through, and I think I'm at the point where I left off.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I actually bought the entire series back when I could afford it, and they've just been kind of chilling in my little book box. I have a box full of books. Anyway, I called it shit when Anthony went all lovey-dovey about London, and speaking of Anthony and London, that's There's No Place Like London. The character Anthony is singing about how wonderful it is, and Sweeney singing about how terrible it is at the same time, and it serves to contrast their points of view. Speaking of Anthony and London, allow me to randomly quote some lines from No Place Like London at you. Isn't this fun? Dude, she's adapting a musical into a fan fiction. Can you please chillax? I do the same thing with Crazy Ex-Girlfriend fan fiction. You kinda have to. Anyway, no one can comprehend revenge like Gaston. Now that I've set up your line, please just say it in the getaway clean while you declare that you not only hate the judge more than I do, but you've had it worse than me. When? Let's see. Drama tin hat. I need a drama tin hat. You do not know me at all. I despise Judge Tripper more than you could ever imagine. Like, okay.
I mean, that's the kind of... I despise Judge Tripper more than you can ever imagine is the kind of dramatic thing a 23-year-old might say.
Especially because Judge Turpin up and married her mom. Like, as far as little 8-year-old Victoria saw it, you took my mom away from me. I can imagine she didn't like that. I knew of what happened to your wife, and 2 years after that, the I'm not sure they used bastard in this sense back then, or maybe I'm confused. Maybe it's just because in the stories that I've been reading, bastard is meant literally. Had the audacity to propose to my mother and take her to wife. That's why I ran away and why I've not seen my mother since, and that was 13 years ago. Okay, so when she was like 10, I guess. He stole my mother from me with empty promises. He never loved her. If I return, he'll take me as a stepdaughter, and I want no association with such a heartless... Wait, she's 23. Can he do that? Like, she's 23. I think she's a little old to be considered a stepdaughter.
Yeah, and, like,
if my dad remarried, I wouldn't consider her a stepmother. It'd just be my dad's wife.
Yeah, and, like, this is not the best thought through, at least when it's put like that.
Clearly, I have no understanding of hatred at all. I am, as you say, much too innocent to comprehend. I don't like this because, yes, on the one hand, she is a naive 23-year-old. On the other hand, yes, the judge running up and marrying my mother is exactly the same as the judge putting you away on false charges. It reminds me of a Corey Light.
Yeah, I admit, I don't like this. I don't like this section.
I don't like this particular bit of
yeah.
I despise Judge Tripper more than you. Now, I knew of what happened to your wife, and as a woman, I hate him for it. Like that, I can understand. Like I can understand that. I have no understanding of hatred because he married my mom.
No.
Her making it about her, it feels more like a 16-year-old move than a 23-year-old move.
Yeah, it does. Like I feel like if the reason she ran away was because she was understandably concerned for her own safety.
Like, I ran away because I knew of what happened to your wife. I didn't want it to happen to me as well. Or I tried
Yeah.
to get my mother, I tried to get my mother not to marry him because I thought that might happen to her as well. Or he married my mother and then raped her on their wedding night. Like,
Yeah.
that would be understandable. Like, no, I understand. I knew what happened to your wife, and then he did the same thing to my mother, which Mervyn would, of course, bitch about. But I kind of agree with this here. Like, it pisses her off so bad she can't drum up a good rant. Like, I understand that. I understand being angry about this because it's bad. I know what she was going for, and I don't know if it's but I don't like it or and I don't like it.
Yeah. I get you.
The Victoria smug in her I sure told him attitude makes me dislike this even more, especially since I don't think Mervyn is being mean this time. I think she's right this time. Because that's how...
see it.
Huh?
I wish I could see it. I wish I could actually like look at the fic itself.
These are the canon where, yeah, the I sure told him attitude. I get the I sure told him attitude from this.
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair.
I got that from that. So I'm taking the canon line into account when I say this.
Yeah.
That was bad. That was absolutely fucking terrible. But again, it's more like what a 16-year-old would think and act like than a 23-year-old, especially in those times.
Yeah, I'm getting teenager vibes from this rant.
And I don't like it, but again, amateur writer. And some people are kind of similar at 23 to how they are at 16. I don't think that's the case in Victorian and Georgian London, but because this is a modern writer who is writing in 2009, I can give it like half of a pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to say she's a shitty writer because she wrote that. I'm going to say I don't like this section.
Yeah.
And I agree with Mervyn. And for once, I don't think Mervyn is being too harsh, just taking this part just on its own.
Yeah.
And then Sweeney's thing here, did she just seriously say she had it worse than me because her mother accepted Judge Turpin's proposal and she ran away from home, all of which was by choice? Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with this assessment. The very fast killing of many, that's probably something Canon Sweeney would do. With that being said, I'm going to navigate to chapter 4 and then put it in the Discord for next time.
Alrighty. I gotta go.
You gotta go. Yeah. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
And all of this, like, that ended on a terrible note.
Unfortunately. Same time next week?
Huh?
Same time next week?
Next week we'll probably doing One West Covina. We can always do this like later this week, have a bonus stream, or we can.
That's true.
Or we can bonus stream One West later. I don't even know, man. But okay, Huggles.
Yeah. Huggles. Bye.